Assalamu alaikum Pakistan. Welcome to the show Spin-Off. This is your RJ Faisal Ilyas. Another 3 games have been played in ICC Men's T20 World Cup for 2024. First game was played between Ireland and Canada. Second game was between Afghanistan and New Zealand. And the third game was between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. All 3 games were very exciting, but before going into these 3 games, we'll talk about Pakistan team's position right now, because Pakistan team has to play against India tomorrow in the big game against arch rivals India. Pakistan team has not gone for the practice session. This does happen when you have to play big games. You do not go for the practice, but with Pakistan team, they have not been accustomed to the New York condition. They missed out their practice matches initially. They did not do well in the USA game, so the questions are being asked as to whether Pakistan team should have rested and should not have gone to this practice session or not. So you can give your feedback on this thing. Also, Pakistan has missed out on a dinner program which was lined up for the team yesterday, which does make sense because you have lost such a big game. Big game not in the sense that you played a bigger team, but big game in the sense that you lost to a very kind of associate team for ICC. So Pakistan has to come back from this trauma and they have to play well against India. So I want you guys to give your feedback on the practice session that Pakistan has missed out, and your suggestion on what corrections Pakistan has to do in the game against India. Our WhatsApp number is 0314 289 8989. We have to analyze 3 big games today. First game was played between Ireland and Canada, and this game was even more important because it was from the Group A, where Pakistan belongs to the Group A as well. So match number 13 played between Canada and Ireland. This game was from the Group A, which the group that Pakistan belongs to. So it was an important game for Pakistan. Everybody expected Ireland to win this game, but the game was won by Canada by 12 runs, and you will not believe that Ireland won the toss and they made Canada to bat first. So this we know that in this World Cup, whenever the captain wins the toss, they bowl first, and almost 30% of the game is in the hand of the team which wins the toss. But Canada was so good. So one thing goes to Canada and USA, that they have been very well trained about their conditions, and the games that both of these teams have played so far have been very good. So this also tells you that associate teams of ICC are also doing well in this tournament, especially USA and Canada, and unfortunately both of these teams belong to the group of Pakistan. Alright, so if we talk about this game further, the man of the match of this game was Nicholas Crichton for his performance of 49 runs of just 35 balls. One more thing to consider, that only Pakistani openers have not been doing well in these conditions, although it's only just one game that has gone by, but still Pakistani openers have to do well, and we expect them to do well in the game against India. So Canada batted first because Ireland won the toss. They made Canada to bat first. If we talk about Irish bowling performance, Irish bowlers did well throughout the innings of 20 overs. Craig Young and Barry McCarthy bowled extremely well with the figures of 2 for 32 and 2 for 24 respectively. Wicket apiece for Adair and Delne. So Canadian bowlers were very good because they had to defend only a target of 137 runs. So credit goes to Canadian bowlers. And this also tells you that if you play as a team, you can even defend small totals, because Pakistan was defending 159 and they could not do it because of different reasons. Biggest of them was that the team was not gelling in that well, and we saw that in the fielding also. We looked like that we were not there in the game, but we hope that we come out of these problems when we play against India. If we talk about the second innings of the game between Canada and Ireland, the Canadian bowlers were up to the mark. Like I said, from the beginning they kept the pressure on Irish batters, and at one point Irish team slumped to 59 for 6. They were able to come up, but they could not beat Canada eventually. So the game went to Canada. Canada won the game by 12 runs. And if we talk about the next fixtures of these two teams, why these fixtures are important, because Pakistan belongs to the same group. Ireland has to play against US on the 14th of June at Lauderhill, and Canada has to play against their next game against Pakistan. So Pakistan has to play against India and then against Canada. That game is going to be on 11th of June at New York. So Pakistan has to play their next games against India and Canada. Obviously, India game is going to be very critical one. We'll talk about this game further, and we'll talk about the next two games that were played yesterday. We were analyzing the three games that were played yesterday and one game that was played today morning. The second game, which was the most exciting game and most anticipated game of this T20 World Cup, was played between Afghanistan and New Zealand, and New Zealand won the toss and they made Afghanistan to bat first. But can you believe it that this game Afghanistan wins by 83 runs, and New Zealand could only score 75 runs when they batted. So Afghanistan batted first and they batted like anything. Their openers, against Uganda, they did so well. Against New Zealand also, they played like champions. Gurbaz and Ibrahim were outstanding, especially Gurbaz, their opener, who represents Kolkata Knight Riders in IPL, managed to score 80 runs of just 56 balls on a pitch which was not that easy. We saw that New Zealand batters find it so difficult on this pitch, but Afghanistan played like champions. Like I said, outstanding batting by Afghanistan, and it's not the first time that they have done it, and it's not the first time that their openers have done so well for their team. So the way they have played their first two games, Afghanistan looks to be the team who looks very prepared, who looks very gelled in, because when we saw Gurbaz scoring the 50, we saw the kind of support he got from his team. The entire dugout stood and appreciated his innings, because they knew that this ground is not easy to bat on. But Afghanistan, all the credit, all the appraise goes to Afghanistan, because they did so well. They scored 159 for 6 on a pitch which was not that easy. If we talk about other good scores, Omar Zai managed to score 22 runs, and Rashid Khan, who generally comes out to bat and he hits the ball very hard in very unorthodox style. He got 5 balls. He could just score 6 runs, but this was very big total when you see how New Zealand batted in the second innings. If we talk about New Zealand's bowling, Bolt managed to take 2 wickets of 22 runs. He bowled 4 overs. Henry was good also. He also took 2 wickets for 37 runs. Ferguson conceded 28 runs for 1 wicket. So if we look at the first inning itself, it wasn't that bad a performance from New Zealand bowlers, but since the pitch was so hard to bat on, when New Zealand came on to bat, it was so difficult that they could just manage to score 75 runs. If you score 75 runs, obviously your batters have not done that well. Phillips scored 18 runs of 18 balls. Henry scored 12 runs. Williamson scored 9 runs, and Conway managed to just score 8 runs. We are talking about the match played between Afghanistan and New Zealand, one of the most anticipated games of this T20 World Cup. This went down in the favor of Afghanistan as they played so well. We were talking about New Zealand's batting. There's nothing much to talk about their batting, because they only managed to score 75 runs. But we must talk about Afghanistan's bowling, because Faisal Haq, who took 5 wickets against Uganda, managed to take 4 more wickets in this match. So his tally has gone up to 9 wickets in 2 games. He's going very good. Rashid Khan, who is their captain and main spinner, he also came into party. He took 4 wickets of just 17 runs. And Nabi, another spinner, their very senior player who's been captain for Afghanistan for a long time, he also managed to take 2 wickets of just 16 runs. So the game went in the favor of Afghanistan. So Afghanistan has played 2 games. They have won both the games. It's important to see as to what their next games are. Afghanistan is supposed to play Papua New Guinea on 13th June. could be an easy game for Afghanistan, but we have seen in this World Cup no game is easy. If we talk about New Zealand, who now have the pressure of winning games because they've already lost one game against Afghanistan, they have to play West Indies on 12th of June. This also is going to be a great game of cricket because both of these teams are very exciting teams. So we'll be looking forward to both these games, and we wish good luck to Afghanistan and New Zealand. Afghanistan has already done so well, but if we talk about New Zealand, they have to do well in their next games. So the next game that we'll talk about is Bangladesh Sri Lanka, but before we jump into that game, we'll talk a little more about how Pakistan team is preparing for their game, the marquee game that is to be played in this World Cup between Pakistan and India in New York. I'm sure all the fans are super excited. Pakistani fans are a little worried as well because the team has lost to US, but if we look at the positive signs, whenever Pakistan goes down that badly, they come up strongly, they come up hard. But the news from Pakistan camp are not that encouraging because we have seen that the team has not gone for the practice session today, and Pakistan team was not there in US much before the tournament. They reached the tournament just before the tournament started, and they did not get the warm-up games, they did not get the practice sessions. They had to do indoor practice. Then their key spinners like Imad Wasim is injured. Pakistan's opening did not click in the first game. Babar found it difficult to score quick runs. So there are a lot of questions being asked. Pakistan has to answer a lot of questions, but with the game of cricket, we see that the script is written on the given day. Whatever is on the paper doesn't count much when it comes to big games. We were talking about Pakistan-India game to be played tomorrow, and we expect this game to be very exciting one. Although Pakistani team is under a lot of pressure after losing the game against US, but like we said, when it comes to big games, it doesn't matter as to what has happened before, and what is on paper doesn't matter. All the script has to be written on the given day, and we expect Pakistan team, who has been a very senior team. If we talk about Babar, Rizwan, Shaheen, Haris, all of them have been with the team and playing together as a team. It's been some time. I want you guys to also give your feedback as to, do you think that there is any disruption in the team? Are there any, because we are used to having groups within the team. Do you think that there is one or two groups in the team, like we experienced this when Yunus Khan was the captain, and there were two groups. One was supporting Yunus Khan, one was supporting the other Misbah-ul Haq group. So do you think that situation is got back in the team? If that has happened, it's very unfortunate, but I want you guys to give your feedback. You have our WhatsApp number where you can chip in the conversation that we are doing. The WhatsApp number is 0314-289-8989. We would like to have your feedback on this point because we are building up for the game, the biggest game of this tournament, we can say it. And if Pakistan fights for this game, if they play well in this game, all of the problems that we have with the team will go away with that, because we want our team to fight. Whether they win, they lose, we are going to support them. 220 million people of Pakistan are with the team. Alright, so we'll come back to the third game that was played between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. Again, Bangladesh won the toss and they opted to bowl first. They won the game by 2 wickets. If we talk about man of the match, Rishad Hussain was the man of the match for his bowling effort of 3 wickets for just 22 runs. So Sri Lanka batted first. They managed to score just 124 runs and they conceded 9 wickets, which means Bangladesh bowled so well on this ground. From Sri Lanka, Nisanka could score 47 runs of 28 balls, which is a good effort. Then their senior player De Silva managed to score 21 of 26, and Asalanka scored 19 runs of 21 balls. Eventually this target was not enough. It was a small target of 125 runs, which Bangladesh managed to chase down in 19 overs. If we talk about Bangladesh's bowling, Mustafizur Rahman, who is the senior player for Bangladesh, he took 3 wickets for 17 runs. Rishad Hussain, who is the man of the match for the game, took 3 wickets for 22 runs. Taskeen Ahmed, who is another pacer for Bangladesh. He took 2 wickets for 25 runs. So if you look at their wickets column, all of the pacers managed to take wickets. Same is the case that we expect to happen in the game between Pakistan and India, as it is going to be played in New York. Coming back to this game, when Bangladesh came out to bat, they managed to score 125 runs in 19 overs. They only lost, in fact they lost 8 wickets, but they managed to chase down the total in just 19 overs. Coming back to the game between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, like I said, Bangladesh won the game and they chased down the total in just 19 overs. If we talk about Bangladesh's batting, Hidoy managed to score 40 runs of just 20 balls. Leighton Das, who is their senior most players, one of the senior most players, he scored 36 runs of 38 balls. And Mahmudullah, who has made a comeback in the team, an all-rounder, a very good team man, Mahmudullah, he managed to score 16 runs of just 13 balls. For Sri Lanka, while bowling, Tushara managed to take 4 wickets. He bowled exceptionally well. He managed to take 4 wickets of just 18 runs. Hasaranga, the captain of the team, managed to take 2 wickets of 32 balls. He has to do his best, because he is the one who is supposed to do well for Sri Lanka, because he's one of the best players and the captain of the team. De Silva took 1 wicket of 11 by conceding 11 runs. So overall, Sri Lanka did not do that bad, but they could not score much runs, because of which they had to face this defeat against Bangladesh. And Bangladesh at one stage were 28 for 3, but then they recovered courtesy of the partnership between the 2 top scorers, Hidoy and Leighton Das. So this game went down well for Bangladesh, and in fact they wanted this win because they have been through a lot of difficult times of late. They lost to US in the bilateral series just before the T20 World Cup. They lost to US by 2-1. So people were thinking that it will be difficult for Bangladesh to win, but seriously, I do a show on Dawn News where I predicted Bangladesh to win, and I also predicted Afghanistan to win this game. You can watch that show as well on Dawn News, which happens every day between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. Alright, so coming back to this game, and we also have to look at the next games that these two teams have to play. If we talk about Bangladesh, they have to play against mighty South Africans on 10th of June, which is on Monday. This game is going to be played at New York. And if we talk about Sri Lanka, they have to play associate team Nepal on 11th of June. So Sri Lanka, after losing 2 games, one to South Africa and one to Bangladesh, they now have the chance to score on the points table against the game versus Nepal. So big games coming up over the weekend as well. We'll see that Australia is taking on England today. We'll talk a little bit about that game also, because this also is one of the marquee games to be played in this World Cup. Alright, so 3 more games to be played in ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024. 3 more games to be played before we do tomorrow's show. The first game is between Netherlands and South Africa, and this game is going to be very exciting. Why? Because in 2022 T20 World Cup, we know that Netherlands got to beat South Africa, because of which Pakistan qualified into the semi-finals, where they beat New Zealand, and Pakistan finally lost to England in the finals. So this game is going to be super exciting, because South Africa has to take the revenge from Netherlands. And this time round, South African team is very, very strong. We have seen their batters, players like Markram, Quinton de Kock, Klaassen, all of them are very good and in good form. So it will be very difficult task for Netherlands to beat South Africa. Another game that's going to be played is between Australia and England. Arch rivals. I mean, these two teams, whenever they play, it's just like Pakistan and India game. So this game is going to be very exciting. This game is going to be played 10 p.m. Pakistan time. So all the cricket fans are going to have a very busy weekend. All of the big games are going to happen this weekend. The third game is going to be between the hosts West Indies and Uganda. Although Uganda is not a big team, but we have seen in this World Cup that smaller teams, associate teams, are giving tough time to the full members. So So all these 3 games are going to be exciting. Netherlands, South Africa, mighty Australia and England, and the third game is West Indies, Uganda. We hope that all of these 3 games go well and go to the wire, and all of the fans enjoy the games. And the biggest game that's going to happen tomorrow is between Pakistan and India, but we'll do a show before that game and we'll do a complete build-up in our tomorrow's show. So I'll ask you guys to not miss tomorrow's show, because we'll talk about in complete details about Pakistan-India game, and we'll analyze all these 3 games that will be played before we do tomorrow's show. So your host Faisal Ilyas has to sign off. I'll see all of you guys tomorrow. Keep listening to City FM 89. I'll see you tomorrow.